when folded, is 12.8 millimeters. They're not playing.
One extra layer,
Yeah.
and the thickness is about the same as dual layer. Let's call it
Yeah.
foldable by Samsung.
It's literally written on the phone itself.
But I have a few questions here. First one is the price. Who's gonna buy this? So this is like buying 2.5 premium phone. It's not even for your average tech enthusiast, probably.
Hello everyone, welcome to PhoneArena show. I'm Rad, with me here is Vic as always, and once again we have a bunch of cool things to talk about. Last time, as you know, we talked about Huawei and the first ever trifold phone. It was just a teaser. It was just an announcement on Weibo by Huawei CEO Richard Yu that they're gonna hold an event and it's gonna announce first ever legendary device, instant classic, as I would put it. But it's our reality. It's here. The event's taken place. It's still only in China, but a bunch of Chinese vloggers and tech tubers and other tech influencers have done content with it. We now have seen it. It's a real product.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. It works. It works. It folds in two ways. So it has three parts, a trifold phone. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today and see some shots of it and discuss the pros, the cons of that new product. And then iOS 18 launches today.
Oh, big day for millions, possibly billions of users.
For the millions and millions of iOS users out there. Does it launch alongside iPadOS 18 as well?
Yeah, I think everything launches today.
Everything is going to launch
WatchOS
today.
11, iPadOS, yeah.
Apple flips the switch, and then finally, the Pixel 9.
Ooh.
Kind of a big launch, actually.
Pixel 9, we have the Pixel 9 Pro, 9 Pro XL.
Right here.
And these phones are the most iPhone-looking like Pixels ever.
The most iPhone-looking Android phones ever, maybe.
Maybe,
even.
yeah.
That's a big checkpoint for in Android phone history.
Yeah, and we have the reviews up on PhoneArena. We've had a couple of people on the team involved in these reviews, so we're gonna take a look at what's new in the Pixel 9 a little bit after the hype, because we've already had these for a couple of weeks now. We had some experience with these phones.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I don't know too much about them apart from the surface level things, because you guys have been knee-deep into reviewing them and comparing them across everything that moves in the Android landscape. So you're going to tell me more about it. I'm curious about these Pixels. Really dig how they look.
Yeah, the design is really nice. I appreciate the redesign. It feels like a mature product now.
It absolutely does. But yeah, we'll get back to these Pixels. But first things first, let's talk about this breakthrough product.
So what's it called after all?
It is called the Huawei Mate XT, which is a perfect name. That's the best possible name. I don't know what it means, but because it was like Huawei has that Mate line, Mate 60, Mate 50. That was like very, very high-end line with top-of-the-line features. Great for wasn't the Mate 40 the first like periscope camera smartphone?
I think like Huawei has two big series of smartphones. They have the P series, which were the camera focused ones, and then the Mate series, which are kind of the series that focus more on other features like different new technologies. So I think possibly the periscope should be on the P series, but I'm not sure about that.
Not sure about it, but the point is it was very, very high-end product. There was a period of time before the ban in the US that those products really started to pick up steam. And but anyway, so now we have the Mate XT, which is the first ever trifold phone. It's probably, I don't know, extreme, maybe. But it's also, the full name of it is the Mate XT Ultimate Design.
Oh.
Which I do agree with, because when you say that's ultimate design, your statement is that is the apex product, the ultimate point.
Yeah, and when you have it in the name, it kind of says, imagine you having like the iPhone 16 best ever, because that's Apple's line. You know, every Apple event, you hear Tim Cook and he goes on stage and he says, "This is the best ever iPhone the best iPhone we've ever made." And this is every year. There's literally super cuts of
It
this.
is. Well,
And,
shocker. The best iPhone.
and for Huawei, it's the ultimate keyword, right?
It's the ultimate, but it's literally written on the phone itself. And they're not playing.
Yeah.
So it's live, it's here. I'm not really sure about if it's on sale already or it's going to be on sale soon.
In China.
In China for the exorbitant price of, what was it, $3,000?
Close to $3,000.
Yeah, about, I think it was like, if you translate Chinese price yuan directly to dollars, it comes at something like 2,800 for the base version, and then goes above $3,000.
So this is like buying 2.5 premium phones. You can buy, if an iPhone costs 1,200, so this would be like 2 iPhones and a half.
Which is a lot of iPhones, but you are in effect buying a premium iPhone or a phone.
Yeah.
Could be an Android. So premium phone, a standard duo flagship, foldable, easy to use, and a triple phone, which is going to be something like this, and one of these, like a 10.2-inch tablet.
Ooh.
10.2 inches, like that, something like that. It's going to be that you can put in your pocket, and you have 3 devices into one.
Oh, I hear a little bit of a Steve Jobs moment here.
Nice, eh? 3 different form factors.
OG iPhone vibes.
For 3 different use cases.
Right.
Right? You can go as intense as you'd like with this product. Anyways, it's extremely thin. How in unfolded form, was it 3.6 millimeter?
I think it's maybe below 4 millimeters.
Below, yeah. It's definitely sub 4 millimeter, like 3.5, 3.6 millimeters
there,
is the profile.
Extremely slim, yeah.
Slimmest ever possibly such product. I mean, it's way slimmer than the iPad Pro. Way slimmer than it's the iPad was 5.1.
Yeah, somewhere around that, yeah.
Right, so it's way slimmer than that. And again, when unfolded, you got a 10.2-inch display.
Yeah, so that's really impressive how Huawei is able to fit a very slim battery to make all of this work. It really takes a lot of clever engineering to achieve that. So that's really impressive, just technically. We will discuss the business side of it, the consumer side of it, but just technically, no doubt, this is a super cool gadget.
Super cool, super cool. And here's the interesting part is actually when you fold it. So when you fold it, obviously the problem with a phone that folds into 3 layers is that it's going to be thick. But very interesting image appeared on Reddit where you can see the Mate XT folded against the Galaxy Fold 6, which is a product that just launched.
Yeah. The high-end Samsung.
The high-end Samsung, the highest-end foldable product, and they are like about the same thickness.
That's crazy. So you have a phone that folds in 3, so you have like 1 extra layer.
Yeah.
And the thickness is the same
about
the same as a dual layer, let's call it, foldable by Samsung.
Yeah.
But this just kind of shows how behind we are, right? In terms of just mainstream phones.
Yes, we are behind.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yes, we are. And one of the key features of the Fold 6 was that it got a little bit slimmer than the Fold 5.
Yeah.
It was still not the slimmest foldable, when it launched.
It's probably the thickest.
It's probably the thickest one of the current generation foldables, because the Honor Magic V3 recently launched, and it was the slimmest foldable, and it was how much? 9.2 millimeters? 9.1, 9.2. Yeah. So, and that thing, the Mate XT, when folded, is 12.8 millimeters. So yeah, about there. Just one more layer on top of it.
Really, really cool. But I have a few questions here. First one is the price. Who's gonna buy this thing? Like it's not probably for
Very rich people.
for mom and pops.
No, it's not.
It's not even for your average tech enthusiast, probably.
Sure. Yeah. But it's like the Tesla Model S.
Right. The first,
Right.
and then with scaling of production, you're gonna
You launch something that is extremely premium
right.
that everybody wants.
Okay.
Like oh man, I cannot have it because the price is very high. Select people can have it, but you do want it. And then you start bringing the price down.
Let me push back a little bit here because now I think that some people will indeed want it. I'm not sure it's going to be everyone, but hear me out. So repairs for this thing are very, very expensive. So you should be really, like with foldable phones, you should be careful, right?
Yeah.
Because they tend to break, and especially around dusty environments, if you take them to the beach, not a safe location for a foldable. So hear me out. Repairs for the new Mate XT, a screen replacement, which is probably the most common repair, $1,100. So that's nearly half the price of the phone. That's the price of a full phone.
Yeah.
That's just for a screen replacement. And that is if you agree to have that screen refurbished. If you don't, the price is $1,300 or somewhere around that. Now, all of these prices are prices in China, translated to USD, right? But if Huawei ever brings this outside of China, these prices are going to get inflated because you have taxes. These are surely going to be shipping everything. You have more. This is going to be more expensive. So $1,100 for a screen replacement, and in comparison, the Galaxy Fold 6, you get it with the first screen replacement discounted, it will just cost you $200. So sure, yeah, it's much thicker.
That's a discounted service. Right?
Yes, but I think you get it for like most customers will get this price. And the second time, if you break it for a second time, now you pay the full price, which is $550.
$550.
So this is half the price for a screen replacement.
Yeah.
And this is part of the weird calculation around foldable phones.
I don't get that. I don't get what just thinking about these things. I mean, one is the price of the Mate XT, $3,000, let's say.
Yeah.
Who cares? Then the price of the repair of the display. Who cares? You're not gonna buy this product.
Okay.
Right. You're not gonna buy this one. So if it costs 500 or 1,000, it really doesn't make too much of a difference to me.
Yeah, but is it a real product or?
It is. It is a real product, but it's a first-gen product.
Yeah.
That's literally the definition of a first-gen product. It's not about the Mate XT. It's about the next ones that are going to come.
Sure, yeah.
Not just from Huawei, because Huawei still has a special status. They can have Play Store services and stuff, Google services. So who cares about a Mate XT? It's about the next product that are going to come. Maybe from Honor at first. And by the way, we just this minute, we got a what is it? Breaking news, guys. It's a leak, right? It's not official.
Yeah.
It's a rumor.
Yeah.
Speculation that Honor is working on, surprise, their first trifold phone. And there was something else about Samsung working on the trifold?
Yeah, there were crazy rumors that even Samsung is working on a trifold phone, but probably it's far behind the other brands. And this one by Honor seems very real and upcoming in the near future. And of course, Huawei and Honor, like they come from the same place. So it's
like Oppo and OnePlus.
Yeah. So it's only natural to expect a trifold phone as well.
So if anyone's wondering whether there's going to be like a OnePlus Open 2, it's like, okay, let's ask Oppo when they're going to make the next find. And then we'll
just
know.
Copy paste and you get
it's the same product.
The OnePlus,
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's the thing about it. It doesn't matter how much it costs right now, the Mate. Of course, it's a trifold phone. It's going to cost more than a dual fold phone, which is already expensive.
Yeah.
But people are buying these things.
Let's see. I'm really curious to see this thing in action, to see how it folds and folds, to see everything about it really, because we've seen it in videos, we've seen that it kind of works. It looks like a very functional product, but
when you unfold it, screen aspect ratio is 16:11. It's pretty great.
Perfect for
wide,
movies.
but a bit higher than typical. But should work great for media, which was what the foldables so far weren't really perfect at because of the more squarish aspect ratio. But this thing's gonna be wide, so it's gonna be much better for like a tablet for movies, for games, stuff like that. 300 grams.
Ooh, I did not know this.
290 something.
Oh, but yeah, the original OG Pixel Fold, same weight. So
right, yeah, it's like not going to be shockingly heavier, but that's when you think about it, that's about 200 grams lighter than an iPad Pro.
Right, if you think of those terms, yeah.
So about the same screen size,
yeah,
half the weight, pretty much. So by all means, an impressive product. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some hands-on time with it later this week. So stay tuned to PhoneArena, guys. So we hope it's not set in stone yet. We might have something for you, some first-hand experience with the Mate XT, and that's about that.
Oh, okay. The most exciting topic.
Let's leave the future in the future.
And let's go to the present.
To the present, which is iOS 18, arguably less of a exciting rollout, but still happening today.
Happening today, it's a big upgrade for some users because RCS is finally coming to iMessage, which is great. So green bubbles will no longer be at a huge disadvantage.
But there's still going to be green bubbles, right?
Yeah, I think there will be green bubbles.
It's just that you get the features.
Right, you get the rich, the full image size, so you're not gonna have truncated images. You're gonna have all the features in iMessage, so it's gonna be you can fully participate in group chats without being ostracized, hopefully. So this is the big feature for me, because you have a bunch of other smaller customization features that Apple is really focused on. But Apple is not gonna tell us, okay, it's all about RCS and better compatibility with Android phones. But that's what it's really about for me, like the iOS 18 update.
Interesting.
Because Apple Intelligence is not coming in iOS 18.0. It's coming a bit later. We've already talked about this a bunch of times. So iOS 18.1 will bring the first AI Apple Intelligence features in October. But right now, we have RCS, and you will finally be able to do something magical. Move your icons freely along the grid, but freely on the home screen of your iPhone, which is something we've wanted since, I don't know, 15 years.
I've never wanted it, but okay. Some people wanted it.
Some people wanted it.
Yeah, now they have it, and now they can officially make their home screens on iPhone look like crap.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Finally, it's here. The big feature. You can have gaps between your icons.
But speaking of crap, we have to touch upon the new color theming, icon theming options in iOS 18. So you'll be able to have all of your icons the same color. So you can have all
it's
icons.
Like an accent color, right?
Accent
it's like
color.
Dark background and accent color. Or we have one of those images with the blue icons, if we can show that.
Yeah, it looks really depressing. It looks
ugly setup.
Extremely ugly, but it has it is consistent, and we're just talking about the Pixel 9
consistently bad.
We're talking about the Pixel 9 and Android phones. And icon theming is, for some reason, very difficult. Android has been doing this for years, right? So it should have the advantage, but you select an icon pack and half of your icons are broken. Half are the style you want them to, but the other half, or at least a few, will be broken and will have the default styling. Very few icon packs will have, I don't know if there is an icon pack that has all of the icons properly customized. Here, what Apple does is from the get-go, you have all of the icons consistently ugly. So this is great.
Choose your poison.
Choose your poison.
Right. Yeah, and it's very interesting to me because these custom icons that you can now create with the accent color thing.
Yeah.
It only works with dark mode.
Yeah. Seems so.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is that? They're always like this, the black background
black
with
background.
the accent.
That's what I've seen. Yeah.
For some reason, I don't think you can activate that. Yeah, because look at this. You got your light, the normal icons.
Right.
You got your dark mode, standard, and then automatic when it switches automatically, and then you have tinted. That's the tinted colors.
Oh,
are
that's the
these
tinted one. Yeah.
accent colors, and
Always
it's always dark.
Yes.
I don't know why that is,
Right. Well, probably
but it's bad.
a style decision by Apple.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other big feature, let's move on, is a brand new Photos app. So remember previously you used to have like tabs on the bottom.
Yeah.
So these are getting replaced by an all new look, which is everything is just all in one place in the Photos app. But it has been received, let's say it has gotten a lukewarm reception by users. So Apple has had to tweak this on numerous times in the betas. And they kind of circled back to something that functionally is more similar to what Photos used to look before. So you don't have those tabs, but you have your albums with an easier reach now.
Okay.
So basically, it's a half-baked redesign of the Photos app. It looks visually a bit more appealing. You have your collections on the bottom, so it's a bit easier to see those. And you will be able to search for images with AI. So this is great. I think this is a very useful addition. So that's the new Photos app.
I wonder why we needed the redesign though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think it's all driven by the Apple Intelligence new features because it will be able to group your collections smartly now and will be able to organize this in a better way. And Apple wants to showcase this in the Photos app.
That's my point. It's almost like Apple wants you to see these things before you may not even go to the third or fourth tab in the section in the Photos app. And now they're like, okay, so you guys are not using that. Let us just throw it all in your face in one single page. Look how cool it is.
Yeah, that's why it's a controversial update. I feel the same way because I'm not using, like, I rarely see my albums. I just usually look at the camera roll and it's good enough for me. But yeah, we'll see how it is received with time.
A lot of the apps are redesigned, though, or I don't know if redesign is the right word, but they got new features.
Yeah.
And not only around the Apple Intelligence, but I guess the features around Apple Intelligence are what's most important here.
Yeah, I think like the other features that some people will be very excited about is game mode or gaming mode.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty cool because it will kind of cut off notifications while we're playing a game. It will optimize the performance of the phone and it will minimize the audio latency.
That's very important.
That's pretty important.
Because usually what you get with these is sometimes you got latency, sometimes it's fine.
Yeah.
It all depends on something, who knows what. And hopefully now with this game mode, it's going to be more consistent.
Yeah, and in addition to that, the new iPhone 16 Pro models are getting a better heat dissipation system, better thermal management. So again, great for gamers. Yeah. And so far, like the iPhone has been one of the best phones for gaming because it has the most titles. You have Apple Arcade if you want that. Yeah. You have a bunch of controllers. The ecosystem is very rich. Everything is supported everything is made for an iPhone. So this will give it just another boost. And I think, we're always saying that phones basically suck for gaming. If you are an OG gamer, you're not going to be playing on your phone. You're going to be playing on your PlayStation or your PC or whatever.
They're big business. Mobile gaming is a big
But it's getting more and more serious, better every year. And I think this is a major step.
You get bigger screens almost every year. Here we go again with the 16 Pro and Pro Max. They're getting bigger.
Right.
You got your tripod.
But not 10.2 inches, right?
Not 10.2 inches yet. So, okay. So is there anything? So we talked about iOS 18, RCS, the new Photos app. aside from Apple Intelligence, let's leave that weird thing for later when it comes out. What else is there in iOS 18 that people should be excited about later today?
Let me tell you right away. There is a list of 250 new features coming with iOS 18, which is crazy because like Apple blogs specifically are obsessing. Like I have to give it up to all the guys that do videos on YouTube listing every single new feature in iOS 18 extensively. And we're also doing that to some extent on PhoneArena. But it's crazy. You're getting
those guys are nuts, man.
You're getting lots of tiny.
This icon now has a little bit different background color.
Every little detail is under control and scrutinized. So anyway, you're getting some changes. Among those that you probably care about a little bit more is that you can now change your lock screen icon. So those two icons on your lock screen previously you weren't able to customize.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So now you can like quickly set them to open Spotify or Gmail or Calendar or whatever. It's genuinely useful, especially considering those new buttons on the iPhone 16 series.
Yeah.
Which take care of the camera and something else, so you can like really have quick access.
But you'll be able to customize these on 15, 14?
Yes.
Okay.
You would. Another new feature, or rather an app, is your passwords, a passwords app, where you get all of your passwords in one place. And this is just a really good addition. And I think Apple used to save your passwords up until now also. So it just didn't have them all in one place. And this is making it easier to access. And I think that for many people, this will be a better solution than LastPass or other paid services. This will be good enough for many, many people. So I'm curious to see where that goes. And also in terms of compatibility, as always, the iPhones are great. Even the older iPhone XS and XR models are getting this new version. So these phones are 5 to 6 years old. They're pretty old phones.
Yeah. I mean, XS, when did it launch? The XS launched, I think, 2018.
Yeah, so 6 years old. So that
great support.
Great support as always. So this is good to see. Unfortunately, the iPhone 10 will not support iOS 18, but that's what you have. And that's iOS 18. Like update, it's a final version, so you shouldn't worry about any issues. Hopefully everything goes great.
And by the way, guys, we're filming that on September 16. This is the launch date of iOS 18. By the time this episode launches, it's probably going to be 1 or 2 days. So just don't be mistaken by that. But September 16 is the release date for iOS 18. All right. So if that is it, though, what else does Apple have in store by the end of the year? I'm hearing about an October event.
Oh, there will be an October event.
Hopefully a better one than the last one.
The last one was kind of boring.
The last event was like the most un-Apple event ever. So uncool.
It felt very scripted, the last one.
Very scripted. The fear-mongering was at new heights. Let's talk about the good things.
We have leaks about an Apple event in October that will be focusing mostly on the Mac, on the MacBook.
Okay.
And we're finally getting the first MacBooks with an M4 chip.
The latest Macs, which are like what? We got the MacBook Air. Is currently with M2, right?
No, it's on M3.
Is it on M3?
Yeah.
Okay, M3 chipset. The same for the Pro? Yeah, the Pros also have M3. Okay, and then moving to, and it was the iPad that went straight from M2 to M4. Okay, so now, but did it first.
Yes.
And now the Macs are catching up to that.
Now, for the first time, MacBooks are catching up to the iPad, which has never happened before. But it will be very interesting because we're not getting just the M4 chip. You're getting an M4 Pro version, maybe an M4 Max. So we're getting some really powerful processors. These will be built on the latest cutting-edge technology, obviously. They are more efficient than before, which is also great news. And now Apple is kind of has some competition with the new Snapdragon X Elite chips on laptops. So this is shaping up to be a really important upgrade. Now, in terms of new devices, we expect the MacBook Pros coming first in October. So MacBook Pro 14-inch, MacBook Pro 16-inch, new models. But the
same design, though.
Same-ish design. Yeah, it will probably be mostly about the new hardware, mostly about the chips. And hopefully with the introduction of Apple Intelligence, we might finally get a base MacBook Pro with more than 8 gigs of RAM. Because this was the biggest criticism for Apple. You get an expensive Pro
Sounds
MacBook
too
Pro.
good to be true. Sounds too good, man. Like,
yeah.
What did you not like about a MacBook Pro with 8 gigs of RAM?
Now, MacBooks are this scheme that you have to kind of, to get the right
Cipher.
Mac. Yeah, you have to go on a little quest. You have to figure out how much RAM do you need, how much do you need to spend for that. And then for storage, it's the same thing. You usually get 256 gigabytes. And then when you move up a tier, then you have a slightly better processor with one extra core.
Yeah.
So how much of a difference does that make? So let's see if Apple simplifies the process. My guess is that they won't.
They probably just want to make it as, as confusing as possible. To make it just, I'll just get the biggest one, max it out. I don't know.
Yeah, the problem is maxing out is it's super expensive to get a maxed out MacBook. So yeah, we're expecting new MacBook Pros and new iPads, new base iPads, iPad Mini, and possibly a base iPad model.
The latest base iPad is the 10th generation still, right?
Yeah.
The 10th generation now, getting a bit old.
Yeah.
My biggest item on the wish list for the new base iPad, please put the better screen on that thing.
You mean a non-LCD screen? Or?
No, it could be an LCD screen, but just make it, what was the term?
Laminated?
Yeah, please make it a laminated screen. Apple, come on. Because, I get it's cheaper than the others, but still, who wants to look at a screen like that? The non-laminated screen is just terrible. Terrible to look at.
That's the biggest downside of the base iPad.
Even the Mini has the laminated screen.
Yeah, but the Mini is more expensive, so we'll see. We'll see about that.
Something's gotta be updated, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a new. It's gonna be a new processor.
Okay.
That's my bad. It's gonna be a model. We'll see. So October event, we don't know the date yet, but October is coming soon, so it's probably gonna be
almost here
in the middle of October. If I had to bet. And yeah, that's it. Apple event in October, iOS 18 launching on September 16th.
Awesome stuff. Go Apple, but now a launch that happened earlier than typical this year was the Pixel 9, and we did all the coverage, we did all our reviews and comparisons. If you guys just want to know anything about a Pixel 9 series or compare it in depth to the biggest rivals, go to PhoneArena. We have a ton of content there, but we haven't discussed them like live, these products. And then it was also a very strange, stacked rollout of the products. We first got the base one, which was the 9, and the Pro XL.
The bigger one.
The bigger one, which is almost like the old lineup. And now as a second stage, we just got the Small Pro, which is a new product.
Brand new, yeah.
A compact Pro, the 9 Pro. And we also got the foldable, which is not here, but anyway. So let's talk about these products because they're very interesting products. Once again, Google with the new design, this time shamelessly inspired by the iPhone.
Yeah. So that's the big story about the Pixel 9 series. For the first time, if you've been using the Pixels, they had these rounded edges, the signature camera bar on the back. All of that is kind of gone now, rethought, redesigned. And these two phones feel very nice in the hand, very premium, very solid.
They feel awesome.
They feel, exactly, that's the word. They feel awesome, and they feel complete in many ways. And the other thing about them is that they're all in on AI. So these are phones that don't have the cutting edge hardware. They have the Google made Tensor G4 chipset, which is objectively slower than Snapdragon chips, than Apple's A series chips. So these are not the fastest just in terms of pure benchmarks, but those chips are optimized for AI. But for me, the big story is really just about the design, the refinement that you get here. Little things like how comfortable these phones are to hold, the level of finish on the back, the ability to get a 5x zoom camera on both of these phones. And also even the screens feel look very good. They are brighter than before, so it's easier to use these phones outdoors.
What is it, like 2000 nits?
Yes, I think it's like if you measure on an all-white display, they're I think some 30%, like 20 to 30% brighter in terms of just pure nits number.
Right. That's a big upgrade.
Yeah, so
upgrade.
that's a pretty noticeable upgrade. They're a bit on the heavy side, but nothing too crazy, just a bit heavier than before. And the other big news story here is the new compact size. So 6.3 inches, and previously compact phones used to be 6.1 inches. And I'm saying like last year, and let me show you the iPhone 15 comparison. It's not a huge difference, but it is noticeable.
It is.
And we see Apple also doing the same thing. Apple is now the base Pro model is also 6.3 inches.
Yeah.
And this is what these two look like. Very similar size, but still you can tell the difference. The Pro XL is the bigger size. I'm really happy about this change because for the first time, like people who want a compact phone are 6.3 inches is still pretty compact. But those who don't want to have a super large phone now finally have a decent option.
Yeah.
And this is the majority of people. So many people will...
That's the new standard.
That's the new standard. And I think it's a great middle size. I think it's the right thing to do. So I'm very happy that the whole industry is kind of moving towards this 6.3-inch size. It allows for a bigger battery. So it's a win-win situation all around. And in terms of AI tricks, now after using the phones for a while, I would say that most of it is a bit gimmicky. Now we've talked about some of the features like Google's Reimagine feature, which allows you to kind of select any portion of your image and
make it draw anything.
And it draws very seamlessly. It's like Photoshop on steroids, Photoshop for everyone. And it's kind of scary because you can make some very realistic fake AI images very easily. So this is, I feel like this is a bit of technology getting a bit ahead of itself, I would say, because these images are not clearly labeled as AI images. You only have that label in the meta tags, which is, you don't see it anywhere, pretty much.
There's no like watermark.
There's no watermark on the images that you can see right away. And the rest of the features, like you have the video boost feature, which is also quoted to be a major feature, which sends your video to the cloud. It's then processed and upscaled to 8K. But that takes time. That's gimmicky. For me, it feels like just a bit extra work in order to get a video that is as good as the one on an iPhone or a Galaxy.
Still not great, that video boost.
It's pretty good, but it's not. I don't think that the difference is worth it for every single video you take.
No, for sure.
And on a smartphone, the majority of videos you take is something that you capture quickly. You're not looking for cinematic quality most of the time. So this feature will be used in a very small percentage of time. So it feels, in that way, it feels a bit gimmicky.
For sure.
And the rest of the AI features, most of them are coming to all Android phones, really. You have Gemini Live is coming to all Android phones. The Gemini Assistant is coming to all Android phones. So I don't really get... it's still like an AI phone in development. I'm not sure if the value here is currently in AI. There are some exclusive AI features. For example, only the Pixel only on the Pixel 9 now, you can open the YouTube app, and while you're watching a video, you can start Gemini and ask it to summarize the video, which is cool. Like you don't want to watch a 30-minute video, summarize the YouTube video with Gemini.
Yeah.
You can only do this on the Pixel now, and it would be cool if other Android phones supported that. But the rest of it, it's universal. It's supported on the Galaxy, it's supported on older phones. So yeah, and probably it will come to iPhones as well. So these are my thoughts on the Pixels. The price of the Pro model starts from $1,000, which seems a bit inflated compared to iPhones, which also cost the same, but arguably offer just a little bit more in terms of Pro features and overall refinement maybe. But don't take this price at face value, because Pixels drop very quickly in price, and I do not recommend people buy them right away. Just wait for the deals. You have $200, $300 price cut, and then of course it's a much better deal to buy the Pixel. And yeah,
but even if you leave like the I was gonna say the Google intelligence aside, the AI thing aside, these are like solid phones, right? In pretty much any way.
Oh, definitely.
Do they have any like weak sides to them? Like,
not really. They have solid battery life, great screens. The processors might not be cutting edge, but they are fast enough. They feel smooth enough. They have a 5x zoom camera, which allows you to get pretty good quality.
both of them, like
Both of them, even the small one.
Yeah.
They have the useless thermometer, which doesn't make much sense to me. But that's probably the only thing that I would criticize. Get rid of the thermometer. Some parents might disagree, but
and I guess the camera is still pretty great.
yeah, the camera is.
I don't know if it's like the leading camera on mobile.
Yeah, it's in the top three. It's a constant battle, but
Okay.
yeah.
And yeah, I thought that, you know, I was gonna be like put off by the rip-off design, but actually,
that's a yeah.
you know, it's a little bit. It feels refined to me. They've made it theirs in a way. Oh, obviously, the camera island is the Google one.
Yeah.
And you reimagine Google one.
The logo is the Google one.
I like it. The logo is different, like it's G, but they feel just a little bit thicker than the iPhones. But then again, they're like the edges are smoother.
Yeah.
And it feels very nice.
They feel a tiny bit different in the hand.
They feel a little bit different. I like it. I like this product. Yeah, I think they nailed it.
Yeah, and the big advantage of this design is improved durability. Google says these phones are twice as durable as compared to the previous models, which is mostly due to the redesign. So yeah, it's also another win.
Awesome stuff. Well, guys, these were also the new Pixels, the Pixel 9 Pro family right there. Thanks for being with us on this PhoneArena show, guys, for this week. Stay tuned for more content on PhoneArena.com, and hopefully we'll also be going to be able to get you that inside look into the Mate XT later this week.
Exciting
Exciting stuff.
see
you next one.
See you guys around.